What's up, everybody? It was a weird weekend. I think we can all say in Montreal for F1, for the Canadian GP, you know, at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Gilles Villeneuve. There you go. Not Gilles. But, we got to see a bunch of, everything up there for, at the circuit over the weekend, from, light rain in some places, torrential downpours, standing water, technical issues with the track, penalties, sunlight, mistakes made by people that you wouldn't see, people attacking other people on Twitter for saying things. Like, it was a weekend that was full of a lot of stuff that I got to see and be a part of during the F1 weekend in Canada, which, again, always like the track, like it on F1 Clash. There's a shout out to the game. I know exactly where to pass people at it. And I know how much fun it is, just like F1 22. It's a blast to drive around when you figured everything out. And I was very happy to see it, but I just want to start a quick PSA. Attacking someone on social media because they say congratulations to F1 for showing their ass to everybody with the way everything happened during FP1, attacking them and telling them that they're dumb and that they just read this, that, and the other thing. It's not the way to go about it. How about understand we have a character limit? Instead of calling out each person, the FIA and everyone in there, I said F1 and all of them need to get it together. Boom. Problem solved. Easy. Don't attack people and be dicks. There's the problem solved. Be a decent human being and understand that there's a character limit, so to fit into 160, whatever it is, 180. Can't go and call out each individual human being down the line, but I still don't care no matter what. There shouldn't be a time, no matter what the racing series or anything, where anyone that's in charge, because they can make, decisions on the fly, especially, the FIA, the race directors, all that, because we saw it when Max won his first championship, when they only moved the lappers in between Lewis Hamilton in the lead and him on his fresh tires, and the rest of the people didn't matter if they were racing for positions that could have made a difference. They only let those ones go to put Max right on him on the restart for the win. They played with it and said it was an extreme circumstance, yada yada yada, to do all that, and they did it. So when it comes down to something as simple as this, they shouldn't have, and there shouldn't be anyone like, cameras weren't working at the track, so we literally sat there and lost 50 minutes of free practice one because of that. I'm sorry, that's a bad look regardless of who's doing it. And F1 as the sport is what everyone's seeing. So I was putting in layman's terms, not saying the FBI, FIA, the race directors, all these people are idiots. It's made it straight to the point because that's normal people see it. And even if they added 30 minutes free practice too, it's still not a good look. And I really don't care who you are. I'll argue with people that I'm dead in the face. And that regulation's so dumb that at least it makes NASCAR look, they made NASCAR look good. At least when the red flag's thrown and all that, time stops. They're not just losing track time. They're losing, it stops. Dead on it is. There you go. And you can't deny it's really bad when NASCAR makes anyone look good. If anyone that's watched NASCAR lately, make it really easy to insult them. But I thought that was garbage. Is what it is. Let me know what you think in the comments. Because you could do it. You can leave voice messages if you're listening through Spotify for podcasters. And if you're seeing this on social media, you can leave it there too. Like, comment, let me know what you think about it. I thought it was ridiculous, but good news. I did like the rest of the weekend. I thought there was a lot. I do like, when it's, raining and people can still race in it. Because we saw last year at Suzuka when they couldn't, except for Max. So I think it was like a 27 lap race. He won by 27 seconds. Granted, it could have been 28, 29 laps. But there was like a second lap. He just drove away from like everyone and made it look really silly. And I don't think it's very safe in that thing because closing times and all that, closing rates, just it's not good in that. But I like it in the rate that they had, the level that they had in Montreal this weekend. Because it brings different people towards the front. It takes some of the big advantages that some constructors have. Let's say, like Red Bull has their DRS, like it takes a lot of that away, so it's not as prominent. It's up to a lot more on the driver because of the rain. I like that. It also brings chaos and accidents, and it causes stupid. But you didn't get to see a lot of that. So that was okay. I did think that it was how they handled the whole Nico thing. I thought that was really garbage to have it second place starting position taken away. Because if you read their description of what happened, they said it didn't help him do anything there, but it was something after he crossed the line. So they took didn't do anything that helped him get that thing. Like, it's really dumb. Like, maybe it's just me, but it seems really petty for some of the things that they let some people get away. But I do like how good the Haas guys run in the wet and the rain. We saw that last year with Kevin starting at the pole, I believe, in the race. That was cool. And, they looked, Nico, again, even with the penalty, started fifth, which is fantastic for them. So that was really cool to see. I like seeing stuff like that. And, equalizing it, especially because all we see is discussions on social media, if you follow it, about people just complaining because, it's just Red Bull after Red Bull after Red Bull. And people could say, well, you didn't complain when Ferrari was dominating. Yeah, but at least other people were still winning. Like when Mercedes won, even Lewis had a bad race every once in a while. Other people won. Like it wasn't just what 10 straight, 9 straight, whatever it is, like 17 out of the last 20 some. Like it's just been nonstop. I appreciate dominance. I'm not complaining about it. I'm saying a lot of people talking about how, good it isn't to watch because they're running away with it, and the rain gets rid of some of that. And the more people that are up there, the better it is for everybody. I still think Nico's penalty was garbage, and how they explained it was even worse, nitpicky, but it did what it did. And it is what it is, but it was good to see them up there because it proved rain, takes a bunch of, the advantages some people have away, which I think is really cool. But now to the racing, because I thought there was a lot of good racing behind Max. And again, for Fernando Alonso wasn't worried about brakes and all that and temperature. Could he have challenged him more? Yes. Was he still coasting into some terms just to get more air and not be as hard on the brakes so he finished? Yes, just because there's so many straights you have to hit the brakes hard. So that sucked, but there's a lot of great racing behind Max. Lewis and Alonso were all over each other. Like there were people all over the place. Hell, I'll even say Lando looked good to a point. And we all know what I have to say nice about Lando Norris, which is normally nothing. He even looked good, but it sucked. Big things that sucked. It sucks to see George Russell have a slip. He doesn't really do it a lot, but the part that really sucked was the fact that he did it. He came back. He was running, I think, eighth, and then they had to park him because the brakes were too hot, which I thought that was, that really did suck to see them have, slip. He hit the wall. He kept going. He was, wasn't competitive. He's a second off the pace, but compared to a lot of the field, that wasn't bad. And he was, going to get points out of it till that happened. That absolutely sucked. And again, sucks to see Lando get the unsportsman penalty, the 5-second penalty. And it got McLaren out of the points, which they would have been for the first time, I think, since 2014. But he was running up there, I believe, in eighth. They're going forward at the end, seventh, eighth. And, Oscar was, 11th? He was right there, 11th, 12th. He wasn't necessarily in the points all day, but he was right there, which is a vast improvement. If you remember back to the first race, like that sucked. They were terrible. So any progress is good for them for where they were and the competitiveness of the sport. So, that's a positive sign to take away from it. The DRS trains, so many of them sucked, but again, big long straightaways. Everyone's right there. Everyone can hit it and they just follow along. So, that sucks in situations like that, but nothing you could do about that. And again, it was a hell of a run again for Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton third. George would have been there, as well. To be both Mercedes, Lance Stroll, I still think is off. I don't care what his dad said. I get, Lance is Lawrence's son and he owns the team, but saying that, he's very close to being on the same level of Fernando Alonso, not so much. Not even close to so much, but I appreciate where he's coming from. The cars are good. He's just not, there. Could he get there? Maybe. Is he going to? Who knows? Am I going to be doing this and you're not going to hear that door opening and closing because she's slamming it? Never. But, that was one thing I saw coming out was that Lawrence said that. Like, I get it, he's your kid, but no. Fernando's at another level, and him leaving Alpine the way all that stupid happened last year, he's right now showing what he can do, and I'm very happy to see it. Very good for him and the sport. Both Ferraris in fourth and fifth. Didn't like them telling Carlos to stand down, just leave Leclerc alone and not challenge him, even though he was faster than him in a bunch of spots. But F1 team orders, I think it's all a bunch of bullshit. But pardon my French, but I think if he's faster, to let him go, especially when I think he was ahead in the points. But that happens. Esteban Ocon getting points for Alpine was something. I think the team is going to, they needed it Because again, if you've watched the beginning of the season, they didn't start out good at all. Hopefully that's a consistent thing. Hopefully, Pierre finally, you know, figures it out, leaving saying that, they were the better car. So we went over there and, just to see how it's going. Again, the cars are down though. Cars, weren't good last year. They're getting better. Apparently, just from how they're running into the tracks. We'll have to see how it goes. Hopefully that's good. Valtteri Bottas getting 1 point for Alfa Romeo was fantastic because of the Lando penalty. Regardless, they've been struggling for so long. Him and Guan knew that they needed that, anything. And I don't think Valtteri's the problem in that situation, but he's doing what he can with what he has, and the team definitely needs some improvement. But there's that. And both Haas's were down a lot. And granted, sucks what happened for Kevin. Having that incident, I don't remember who was with, but he had that, and they both went off the track. He had to back up, get around all that. That didn't help him at all. So that absolutely, sucked. And to see what happened for Nico, he pit and then the safety car came out. So he lost all that time. And then the guys that were then going to pit after him didn't lose really any time anywhere near as much, which killed him. That absolutely, just didn't help his day in the long run. But it's just been one of those years again. And I don't know. I like Gunther. I like the, Gene. I like the whole thing, but something's got to give. They just, they're down. They're really down. And as America's only team, it'd be great. Great to see them doing good. That'd be fantastic. They had good years before. I think they can get there again. It's just still don't understand bringing back Nico. I really don't. No offense to him. We know he's talented as a driver, but I don't understand the one. They had a lot more opportunities, I thought, and I thought Mick was finally trying to figure it out, or they could have went some other direction than that. But it is what it is, and we shall see how it goes. But points wise, Max is running away with the championship again. No surprise, he's leading his teammate Sergio. That'd be Checo Perez by 69 points. Shocker. I mean, that's what happens when you win everything. But it's good to see Fernando Alonso in third again, especially after last year with Alpine. I said it was going to be a great thing. I did the Substack article. If you have not read it, go back and find the son bitch. That was a beautiful piece of writing right there. Great to see him there. Lewis Hamilton's fourth, Carlos Sainz is fifth, and Nick DeVries for AlphaTauri and Logan Sargent are the only two drivers still not to get, for Williams, are still the only drivers to not get any points at all so far this season, which isn't helping them. And then constructors wise, nothing to surprise anybody, but it's all but wrapped up already, unless something drastic happens. Red Bull, Honda, that team, Oracle Red Bull Racing is up by 154 points over second place Mercedes. Granted, George's, problems didn't help, but they'd still be up by well over 100 points. On the top four teams are in triple digits, fifth and sixth are in double digits with AlphaTauri at 44 and McLaren at 17. And then Alfa Romeo, Haas, Williams, and AlphaTauri are all in the single digits, which we need to see them get better, which is why I said, that point for Valtteri Bottas meant a lot. AlphaTauri being, doing things like there's a lot that, they need to do and pick up from. But Alex Albon for Williams, he deserved driver of the day. Absolutely killed it. Love the kid. Think he's super talented. Gets, more out of it than I think a lot would and a lot have. That was really cool to see him get acknowledged for, running up there with the big boys and getting a top 10. And I'm not saying I'm surprised by anything that I just mentioned, just saying, those are my feelings about everything. AlphaTauri, I thought it wasn't good for Pierre to leave. Alpine, I didn't think that Alonso was anywhere near the problem, which he's proving now. Haas needs to get stuff together. McLaren, I didn't think Ricardo was the problem, and I don't think Lando is the answer. So I don't know what they're going to do with that, but the upgrades they've done do look better. And it was good to see them, almost get points in Montreal, one for that damn penalty over unsportsmanlike, which is just something you never hear, but that was cool. And, again, everything with the regulations, and the cameras going down and them losing all their, first practice session because of that, which is really ridiculous. I don't care who the hell you are. That's a regulation that could be easily fixed. Sorry, I didn't call out the FIA and everyone else in charge, but the governing body, but that's stupid. That was really dumb looking, and it's a really easy fix, and NASCAR shouldn't do anything better than you. And one more, didn't like the penalty for Nico, but nothing we could do. And going into the next race, which is in 2 weeks, I'm looking forward to see if Mercedes can keep to improve, because they do look better. They can keep improving. See what, Aston Martin, if Fernando, can keep getting a little better, because I think, certainly he does look better and better every race and really just see if anyone can catch Max. No one's going to catch Max. See if Max can have, an issue that knocks him out for once someone else can win. Only time will tell. But thanks for watching. Sorry again, been so long. Told you I'll be back more. Figured do a big F1 catch up. I haven't done one in forever, and I love them. Watch it all the time. Don't forget to follow the socials: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all and TikTok. All at Ghost Speedways. The Substack new one is out for Ghost Speedways right now. If you want to check that out on the paved history of the Nazareth Speedway, quick mention, shout out to everybody from, check out the socials for the links for, discount for reaperapparelco.com. I also got ones for Hold the Line for the Hodge Twins and Hodge Twins themselves, their store discount code out there. If you can find that, save yourself some money, get some good merchandise. It helps out everybody. Again, comment. You can leave voice messages on the Spotify for podcasters. Episode through the app. You can leave voice messages that I could hear directly. You can tell me exactly what you think, or find the link on the social. Say what you think. Find the socials. Say anything you think about all of them. It'd be greatly appreciated. Really, really helps, and it lets me know what you guys are thinking. And the more I know what you guys are thinking, I think the better off for everybody involved, and it helps grow everything for everyone. And then one more shout out for Ghost Speedways. If you haven't checked it out, please do. Again, just did 2 episodes out. Big history of Nazareth Speedway, more on some famous drivers from Nazareth Speedway. I got the Substack out from the origin to up to when it first closed, when it closed the second time it got paved, and then post pavement and beyond. Just put that one out today, so check those out because they're really, really good. And all the links for everything are on those socials, as well. Again, Racing with Jesse Ruzinski and everything else. Check it out. I appreciate y'all. Until we meet again. Peace. Bye.